Hi everyone, welcome back to K-Pop Appreciation. My name is Simon, and today we're gonna check out JYP, the man himself, Jin Young Park, and his duet with SUNMI in his latest song, or their latest song, "When We Disco." For those of you new to the channel, this is a first-time reaction kind of deal, okay? I've watched this video many times already. What we're going to do here instead is we're going to watch the video 2 times. First time, without any interruption, I won't pause or anything. I might make a comment here or there. And then the second time we watch it, I definitely will pause because I want to share my thoughts and views, opinions about the production of the video, the music, the dancing, etc. Okay? For those of you new to K-pop, Jin Young Park here, JY Park. It used to be... Okay, so he founded one of the big 3 K-pop companies in South Korea, JYP Entertainment. And he was the CEO for a while. I think right now he has another person being the CEO, and he's like the chairman of the board or something. Yeah, but he's still he's a big deal. He's a little older than me, so he's in his late 40s. And not only does he produce music, and he likes to choreograph, but he likes to perform because he was an old school K-pop artist back in the day. So yeah, SUNMI, I mean, one of the best female soloists out there in K-pop. So this is definitely a retro song. I don't think it's a disco song, but I'll get to that later. But it's definitely This is definitely a retro song. Okay, let's just get right into it. Here is JY Park with SUNMI, their duet "When We Disco." I'm smiling because there's these effects on the screen right now. Like it looks like you're watching it through an old school TV. Like the static snow thing. Yeah, like these imperfections in the screen resolution. Yeah. You get that with old school TVs. That's catchy. The man can dance.
Do you remember, baby?
Some of you may think this dance is super cheesy. I love it. Years later. I like that arm move she did. I mean, I don't think I could do that and make it look cool. Man, SUNMI looks like a classic 80s star, 80s pop star there. Man, this JYP is the master of like slick outfits. Yes, bald Asian guy. Represent. That guy's a K-pop star, old school. I'll get to that in a second. Oh yeah, here we go. The dance line. He would do that back in the day. Dance Train, I think it was called. It's super catchy. Yes, I love this outro dance part. Never get bored. This came out like Wednesday, and like I've been watching it nonstop. I don't know if you guys caught that. He said the video is inspired by the two movies I love: Saturday Night Fever and Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's a great film. Quentin Tarantino, it directed, produced, wrote that film. I saw that film in the theater back in the day, back in the '90s. And Saturday Night Fever, I was very young when that movie was really popular. My mother likes that film. Interestingly enough, both films have the same main actor. I hesitated on using the term main actor or lead actor because in Pulp Fiction there's like there's a sequence of it seems like they're unrelated characters, but they are related. But John Travolta is in Pulp Fiction and in Saturday Night Fever. So, yeah. Hold on for a second. Let me, okay. So, yeah. So, here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of old school disco music. I mean, so that being said, I'm not a music expert, but I would argue this song is not a disco song. The video, the dance sequences are very much inspired by disco themes. But the music, I would argue, is still like a mid to late 80s, musical movement sound kind of vibe. When you think of disco, or I think of disco, I think of groups like ABBA, which is amazing. ABBA and the Bee Gees. Those two right there. And who else? Casey and the Sunshine Band? Maybe. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, I'm really... Some of you are looking at me and you're like, I have no idea who those people are. Okay? Yeah. And it's old school stuff. ABBA is pretty freaking legendary. There's a song, if you've never heard of ABBA, and you've got time on your hands after watching my video, you type in ABBA Dancing Queen. Dancing Queen. Yeah, it's a great song. Yeah, that's very much a disco song. Anyway, so yeah, JY Park, JYP, he came out with this song. No one was really expecting it. The fact that he duetted with SUNMI. So SUNMI used to work for him. She was under his label. She was a Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl was one of the most beloved girl groups during like peak of like second generation K-pop, so 2007, 2008, all the way to 2014. I think Wonder Girls disbanded 2016, I think, or 17, I can't remember. Yeah, and so SUNMI went her own way, but she still has a very good business relationship and a personal friendship with her old boss. So my understanding is, as the story goes, so here's the thing. Around 2007, JY Park here, he really tried to push K-pop in America, okay? And he brought the Wonder Girls with him, and everything. 2008, all right? And, it's tough, especially Americans don't like listening to music that's not in English, okay? And so he did they did it old school. Like they hired a bus or rented a bus and they did a bus tour. It was like a bunch of sleeping and living and touring on the bus. So so as the story goes, from my understanding, one day SUNMI recently was eating dinner somewhere and she heard a song playing on the restaurant speaker. And the song was a song that reminded her of like the last time like she'd heard the song or whatever, she was back in New York, or not in America with J.Y. Park when they were still touring, promoting as Wonder Girls. When he was trying to push that group. So she texted him, say, "Hey, I'm hearing this song. It makes me think of our time when we were in America, like 13 years ago." And he immediately texted her back, I was just thinking of you. I'm writing a new song right now. I've got a part for you. You want to listen to it?" So she's like, "Sure." And then she realizes that she just won't be featured in the song that he's writing. It's a full-on duet. Like, she has all the second verse. And that's how this collaboration came to be. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, because I'm a child of the 80s, I like retro vibes anyway, so I was sold. And Sunmi's voice went really well. And J.Y. Park, JYP, he's 48. He could still sing and dance. He dances very well. So yeah. Anyway, let's just watch it again. So you hear that intro, right? I mean, it gives you that like fairy tale introduction. I love it. Like, there's this melodramatic story almost. So you see how she's just sang that? It sounded like it was like from a. So in the early 80s, sometimes the music was the way how it was recorded, like it wasn't like a stereo kind of deal. Like, you couldn't hear it in stereo, you heard it on mono. Instead, it came out one speaker, and you kind of get this weird mono effect right here. Now, when they perform this live, and they perform this on music shows already, 3 times already. Actually, while I'm filming this and I'm recording this and uploading it, it's August 16th. It's Sunday, and today was the music show that was on today was Inkigayo, and that was their final performance allegedly. So yeah, they actually sing that intro normally, but because of the video, with production, he wants like this whole retro vibe. But it sounds like her voice is filtered through a mono speaker. And if you look at the screen, again, these little imperfections in the resolution, the dots, like I mentioned before. I like the coloring here, considering Sunmi's comeback song recently. Her recent comeback song a month ago was Barat Beep Bam, which translates into bright purple night. So we kind of that purple vibe for Sunmi. Also, I believe for her fans, their light stick, I think it's a purple light stick too. So. Yes! Notice how it says Fever, which I think can either allude to Saturday Night Fever and also JYP. The song he came out with before this was a song called Fever. It was November 2019. That was a fun song too. So he's got that, that jacket, the material, the sheer material. That's what they wore in the 70s. Yeah, definitely. That effect right there, again, that's a very 70s thing. Okay, so while the song may not be a true disco song, the video definitely pays homage to the visual aesthetic of that decade. So, okay, you guys see you see where the phone booth is, the phone. Okay, if you go look back, there's like a bunch of posters there. There's a gum machine. So the one poster back there says Disco Soul. That's a picture of J.Y. Park. I recognize that pink jacket and the sunglasses. I think that was his look for one of his. I personally am a fan of the song. It's called "Who's Your Mama." It's the "Baby Got Back" of K-pop. All right, and then the poster next to it that you could see, it looks like a Wonder Girls poster. I'm not sure though. So anyway, but again, so right now we're in formation. Check out the dance moves. That's definitely a retro dance move. I'm not an expert, but that's that's definitely 70s inspired. So
remember, baby?
So cheesy. It is ridiculous. The term is camp. It's very campy, and I think they're aware of how campy it is, how a little ridiculous it is, but they're just having fun and they're leaning into it, which I'm totally down for. So this was a thing. So when I was really young, I remember a show called Solid. Was it Solid? No, was it Soul Train or Solid Gold or both? These were like they were like, you know, shows and people would dance, and you know they would, and then the featured like people like who were best dancers, they would dance like this in front of the camera, and people would surround you. I mean, you still see this in clubs today. If someone's like really like, you know, breaking down on the dance floor, you kind of give them their space. But yeah, this is where it all started. So. He's really committing. Like, see that how he looks at her again. They're play acting. You know, it's like star-crossed lovers, and I like the fact that he's again he's leaning into it. You know, he's like, yes, we have a connection through our disco dance moves. I will warn you, if you like the song, be careful reading the YouTube comments. You get a lot of haters. People are like, oh, it's super freaking creepy. He's 48, she's 29, you know, blah, blah. He shouldn't be like looking at her that way. They're both professionals. She is an adult. Okay. Knowing what I know of SUNMI, she doesn't put up with a lot of bullshit. I mean, there is absolutely zero reason for her to collaborate with Jin Young Park if she didn't feel comfortable, because she doesn't work for him anymore. Okay. And knowing what I know of SUNMI, who's lost it, I mean, by lost it being her temper a couple times, and people giving her hate comments, you know, yeah, like if you like disrespected her, I don't think this would even happen. So this speaks to the depth of affection, you know, they have for each other. They're their family. So yeah, that's where I stand on that issue. You know, music's about storytelling. They're telling a story here. You know, they connected over the two characters connected over their chemistry in dancing. That move, that when you do this, huh? The cool. Oh, by the way, this guy. Yeah, so my research indicated there was a K-pop duo from the '90s called Clone, CLON. I think that's how you say it. And this guy, he was like bald, you know, he wore sunglasses, and yeah, again, he's got a cameo. So. He looks awesome. I love the sinister club owner vibes, you know? It's great. Poor JYP is getting thrown out again on his ass. Oh, wait, this is the first time he's getting thrown out. That's right. So, it's really funny. The best reaction video I have seen to this video is by Twice. If you type in JYP When We Disco Twice reaction, you'll get a hit. It's an 8-minute video. It's Nayeon, Sana, and Dayeon, and those three react to this. And Dayeon it's hilarious how she laughs when, you know, her boss gets thrown into the garbage pile. It's pretty funny. So now he's like, oh, thrown out of the club. Can't connect with the, you know. But then 10 years later. So fun fact, I mentioned Twice earlier, this dress SUNMI is wearing is the same dress the Mangne, the youngest girl in Twice, Zooey, wore at a performance. I think it was like 2017 Soribata Awards. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. But yeah, and I had to look. It's the identical outfit, so looks great on SUNMI. Now, that move SUNMI just did with her arms like this, she doesn't do that when they sang this live. I noticed. Now, when they sang it live, they did not use a headset. They both had a microphone. They both carried a microphone, and I was like, "Holy!" And they didn't use a. They had an. I think they had an AR track going on, an audio recording track, but it was super low. Like I could hear SUNMI and JY Park like breathing through their microphone. Yeah, so I guess it wasn't comfortable for her to do that move with the microphone, I guess. So, performing it live. Man, all those people, okay, the fashion. There's a couple guys there, like how that's how they were dressed in the 70s. I don't know about the girls so much, but yeah. Remember, baby. Okay. I love how the camera panned out. The color, I think I'm not a I'm not a cinematographer. I think the colors here are oversaturated slightly in this shot. Like it's to show like almost like the gauche quality, the garish quality of the spotlights, red green, you know. Because there were a lot of on disco dancing hall, you know, disco dance floors, you know, they use a lot of pretty obnoxious colored spotlights. So yeah, I guess again it's to get that, put you in the moment. And his voice is good. My only problem with J.Y. Park's fashion right now, I'm not a fan of the red shoes. Again, I'm not a fashionista myself. Maybe it's the most brilliant fashion sense he has. I don't know. I'm not a fan of his red shoes. We didn't stab the sky, but each other's hearts. What a line. And this is a hilarious line. We didn't shake our hips, but each other's lives. I'm like, wow. Ah, yes, bald Asian guy. Represent. I like how he committed to the acting there. I like how she's the one that has agency here. Like, it's not like a 70s kind of like, you know, 70s back then in terms of like women and gender roles. You know, the girl always had to be rescued or whatever. It was the man that had agency, right? I like how the fact that he got thrown out of his ass, okay, which is expected, but then he didn't like go back and like pick a fight or whatever, but she's the one who chose to leave that dude, you know, the evil bald Asian dude. And, you know, she took charge and grabbed his hands like, okay, we're gonna go dance, you know? So, good for her. Oh, we got this disco train line. I noticed the girls, I don't know about the guys, but the girls are, the dance team is called Aura, A-U-R-A. They're the dance team SUNMI always uses. And I know Jin Young Park, JYP has used them as well in his videos, so... Here we go, the outro dance part. That wiggle, that sideways wiggle with the arms. Now back in. I love how they just committed. It's just great. And the thing about Jin Young Park, JYP, interestingly enough, a lot of his when he would choreograph, from what my research indicates, for his girl groups, you know, back in, with Wonder Girls, another group called Miss A. You know, he was very clever in making sure the dance moves were very marketable dance moves. I mean, all K-pop does this, right? You know, if you like a song and you're watching it on TV, watching it perform it, and you could do the dance move too, you're more invested. You're definitely more inclined to buy the song. So yeah, and JYP was very good at this. For Wonder Girls, Wonder Girls has a very famous song called "Tell Me." Tell me, da, 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 da. That's the melody, and he came up with that with the dance moves for that, and that was a viral sensation in South Korea in like 2000. I think it was like 2008. Yeah. Interestingly enough, SUNMI has gone on the record how she hated to do that choreography. So, because it was cringe-inducing. But the man knows what he's doing. So, because if you looked at the whole video so far, I mean, we had this move, you know, and you kind of lean back. I mean, yeah, it's even someone who's dance deficient as myself, I could probably do it with some practice, you know, for TikTok. You know, not that I would do that, but yeah. Not a fan of the red shoes. Red and silver, I don't know. But on the other hand, you know what? Just being a bold disco icon. Why not? So this ending scene, so his hand is not on her butt, it's in front of her butt, okay? It's very reminiscent of classic disco poses that you would see from that era, okay? But I guess a lot of people complain like, oh, he's sexualizing her, he's touching her butt or whatever. For Sunday's music show, which was Inkigayo, they changed this. They didn't include this part. Like, they look at each other instead, and like they touch each other by the palms. I don't think it's as cool. And then like on Saturday, the music show, like they zoomed in on their like shoulders and head, so you didn't see the hand over her butt. So yeah, I know people are just ridiculous. So yeah, but now I love it when we disco. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. Love him or hate him, JYP is a true musician, and having Sunmi on it, this is a classic. So yeah, it has 10 million views already, so it's been out for 5-6 days now, which is pretty good because he's no longer a tier 1 K-pop artist, So yeah, it indicates interest. So yeah. Anyway, listen, that's it for me. Thanks for spending the last 26 minutes. I appreciate your time. I'll be back in another video soon. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and be good to each other. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.